Okay, hello ladies, gentlemen, non-binaries, how do you do? I'm Random Broom, and tonight we are going to answer some questions because it has been 2 years since I've been on YouTube. I don't promote it, so everyone here has just found it all naturally, which is lovely. But I also realized that I wasn't really planning to do anything for it, and life has been a little bit hectic lately. So I made a little app. So as you can get to know me better. So this little app that I have created down here, the Q's app or the questions app, you can tell I made it because it just says main window and I completely forgot to change it. We've also got just little gameplay running at 2 times speed. It's randomized, so God knows what we're going to see. But this changes questions every 5 minutes. So let's go. So, what do you think your pet's voice would sound like if they could talk? Well, my pet is Big Brown Labrador, so I think he would. I don't know. I don't think he'd talk that much, to be honest. He's a very sleepy dog. Yeah, he's a very, very sleepy dog. But yeah, I really don't think he would talk that much. So I think that's about it. These questions as well, there's 150 of them, and we're just randomizing through them. Some of them are weird, some of them are not. But I can just keep clicking start and it'll give me a new one. What is one super specific museum you would like? Oh, I'm gonna bring you down here with me. Hello. One super specific museum you would like to visit. I always like to visit the British History Museum in London. I am so into history. We also have a little bit of just royalty-free music playing that I can change, I believe. If I boop. Because this sounds awful, so let's pick a new one. Yeah, I would probably go with that just for the big dinosaur bones, you know, the huge dinosaur bones. And they also have a huge exhibit of crystals in a really nice little room, because I'm a nerd and I like nice little rooms with really expensive weird stuff in. So yeah, I'd probably go with that. I'm just going to click this. What does spirituality mean to you? So, it has some connotations, doesn't it? So, spirituality... I'm going to change the question just a little bit and say, what does spirituality look like in your life? Or how do you implement spirituality? Because spirituality to me is a bit of a buzzword, to be entirely honest. If you're a good person, you do good things. Basically heals your spirit as much as it does anything else. You feel better when you do good things. So I would probably go with that. But not overly sure. Yeah, I'm not overly sure. What's the best gift you've ever received? Ooh, I smell a controversy coming. Best gift. I've got a good one. I've actually got a good one. So when I was 16, 17, I crashed my motorbike. I crashed it. I bent the camshaft that comes out. I think it's the camshaft. I don't know much about engines, but it's the shaft that actually comes out of the engine that the pistons push down on, and sort of one piston will push down on, and then the other one will, and then one will, and then the other one will, because it was a 2-stroke engine. I crashed it, flew over the top, ended up laying on my back in the middle of a T-junction about 2-3 miles away from my house. Wasn't that bad, but I crashed at about 35 miles an hour. Yeah. I crashed it. I rode it back. I picked up all the bits of the fairings and everything, and I rode it back. And I hid it. I hid it under my bike cover. And I showed my dad when he got home, and I was like, oh, I have like ruined a bike. I've like crashed this bike. And this bike was worth, I think we got it for about £700-800. It was quite a lot. What? But yeah, it was quite a lot. For me anyway, at the time. Yeah, so my greatest gift was, the best gift you ever received was after that. I didn't know anyone had done it, but it got to like my birthday and my bike was ruined. I couldn't use it. And we ended up having to sell it to someone who was basically just going to break it down into bits and get rid of it. And unbeknownst to me, I'd gone away for like a weekend or a week or something. And I came back and they had swapped my bike out under my tarp and I didn't know. And it was a really nice bike, and I don't know where they got it from, how much it was, anything like that. But and I did not know how to ride that bike or anything. It was great. It was just the best little gift that meant I could still get around, because I live in the middle of nowhere. I'm like 20 minutes away from anything. Let's have a look. What's the next one? What is the weirdest thing in your home? Oh, I would say in fact I can reach it. Give me a second. Basically, so I get these weird little like obsessions in my head that I just sort of have to do. It's like an impulse. And yeah, I've always been quite musical. Never been very good at it, but I've always really enjoyed music and stuff like that. And I wanted to learn the keyboard. I just really liked the sound. I really liked the way it played, and I liked the theme music from Howl's Moving Castle. That was the main driver of it. I was like, I want to learn how to play that. So I typed in keyboard into Facebook Marketplace, and keyboard accordion turned up, and I was like, oh, that would sound amazing on the accordion. And it does. I learned, I played it. Turns out a keyboard accordion is basically like quarter of a keyboard, and you can just play it like that. So that's quite, I would probably say that, but I'd probably say, because I brought it, I didn't have a lot of money for it. I didn't really want to spend a lot for it. I'd spend like maybe, I really wanted to spend sort of 50 quid maximum for it. Because the new ones are like £200-300, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna play it like a couple of times and probably never touch it. So I was like, yeah, I want to spend like 50, maybe £60. And I was looking on Facebook Marketplace, I was looking on eBay, I was looking on everything, and yeah, this one turned up kind of broken, and somewhat useless, I would say, to a lot of people. But sorry, I gotta move it. But yeah, I'm a little wily and I know how to fix some things. So I took it apart. I took all the front guard off and stuff like that. And it also helped me learn how an accordion works, which was really, really fun to do. Yeah, it was like unbelievably fun to do. But that's basically it. Let's have a look at what the next one is. What is the most annoying musical instrument? The recorder. The recorder. If anyone can play a recorder very well, it sounds fantastic. Like when you see the little buskers sitting there playing it, sounds fantastic. You pick it up. I don't know what they've got in their recorders, because mine always just sounded like something was dying and I could never get the fingers right. I didn't understand. Like, I kind of still don't. Like, if I hold one of the holes at the end and blow through it, does that make a difference? Is it the number of holes? Is it where the holes that I'm plugging are? Unsure. But either way, the accordion. Not the accordion. The accordion. Oh my god. Do you have a favourite memory? Do I have a favourite memory? I mean, there's a couple. There's one that there's like a couple that really stick out. They're mainly to do with family-based stuff. Like, my family has always lived quite close. I was able to walk to everyone, basically. Everyone sort of in my immediate life, I was pretty much able to walk there and do stuff like that. It's mainly to do with lost family. Like, quite a lot of it is mainly to do with lost family. And like family that are still here, but I don't really want to get into that right now. Maybe actually just hanging around with friends. Yeah, like I live in a very rural area, so creating little dens that you can escape to and just sort of sit and be by yourself and just sort of watch the clouds. That was quite nice. What's the next one? What part of the driver's test are you most likely to fail? I did fail one. Yeah, I did. I didn't pass my first driving test because I'm going to make an excuse and say it was in the snow. It was in the snow, but that wasn't why I failed it. I failed it because I came out to a T-junction, and it sort of swooped down and round, and there was a big lorry coming down, and I was like, yeah, I've got time, and I went round and went that way, and then the lorry managed to catch up to me and had to slow down once it caught up to me. Not a lot, but in the UK, if you pull out in front of someone and they have to slow down at all, they fail. You fail your driving test. So I would say that. Yes. What brings you the most joy? What brings me the most joy? I'd say like, I'd probably say people or my dog. Right? Just interacting in general is quite nice. I do very much enjoy it. I don't know what has happened to the video behind me, but if you look, I've managed to like drop down like under that. But yeah, I'd say interacting with people. I'm very, very sociable. Up to a point. I have like a social battery. And then I'm very, very social right up to the end of that battery, and then I need to go and sit by myself for like 2 days. And then it recharges and I'll go off again. It doesn't work the other way. If I am alone for like long periods of time, that's generally pretty bad for me. I try and have a nice mix of both, where I'm like very, very social, and then I'm just sort of not, you know? But you know, there's always swings and roundabouts, always different things to do. Are you proud of yourself? Awkward one. I would say yes, because I like to think I'm brave. I'm braver than most people in sort of taking a plunge and not being scared to do that. Am I proud of myself though? I'm proud that I have built up that courage to just be like, oh god, I don't want to do this, but we're doing it anyway. I'm not so proud of like wasting so much time in my sort of early life. Like, I was not very good at school. I was not very good at like sort of early stages of college, because I didn't understand the gravitas of what I was doing. I was just sort of milling around. So yeah, I would probably say that. I'd probably say yes overall, but with some pretty big caveats to a lot of portions in my life. So yeah, I'd go with that. Would you survive a zombie apocalypse? That's a hard one, because it this is one of those things. Is it depends. It depends on runners versus walkers versus like ragers in zombies. So like, you know, zombies that can run are different to zombies that rage. You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm not listening to this. Cosmic will do, I guess. Would you survive a zombie apocalypse? I am quite cutthroat. I'm very much this is a hard point and this is where it all ends. Would I survive it though? Probably not, actually. Probably not, because I wouldn't be able to get my asthma medication. So I think eventually just an illness would kill me. Or an illness would make me unable to escape. Do you know what I mean? You know what I mean. You know what I mean. All the weakers in the chat say hey. What's something that makes you feel overwhelmed? What makes me feel overwhelmed? Maybe like a lot of stimulus. Maybe, yeah, maybe like... no. Yeah, I would go with a lot of stimulus. If I'm in like a bad mood. So if I'm in a bad mood, and then I have like 2 people or more trying to vie for my attention while I have a contractual obligation to focus on something else, I would maybe say that. When was the last time you made a prank call? Probably when I was... probably when I was like 5. I called the fire brigade. Do not do that. Yeah, I called a fire brigade with a friend that I had at the time. And I was... yeah. And I felt awful about it because, like, you know... the fire brigade rushed to our location and all hell broke loose. And then everyone had to go out and apologise. And because I was 5, I didn't really understand what was happening. So I would probably say that. Yeah, I'd probably say that. What's the worst name you could give a pet? What's the worst name you could give a pet? I don't know. My immediate reaction to that would be like, if you have a dog, call it Cat. But I'm sure people do that quite a lot. And there's got to be worse ones, you know? You know, anyone who just... no, like... I was going to say anyone who just puts down their animal, like, constantly. I'm going to... whoop. Yeah, I was going to say that. Anyone who just sort of, like, puts down their animal constantly. Not a good person in my books. But, yeah. We'll move this over here. Yeah, we'll just go with that. Why not? Just calling it a completely different animal. I think yes. What brings you the most joy? I think we've already done that. We said people. When do you feel the safest? When do I feel the safest? I would probably say when I can see, when I'm facing the only entrance to a room. You know, if I've got my back to a door, like I have here, that door's over there somewhere. Yeah, I don't really like that, and I do keep checking. But I would probably say that, yeah, if I can see the only entrance to a door, to a room, to a door, Jesus, it's pretty late, to be fair. Yeah, because I don't like being out in like wide open areas. I'm always checking around me. So like the sea, I hate the sea. I still go there and I still do things there, but I hate the sea. But I also love to sit and listen to it because it makes the best sound. And like wide open fields, like actually, yeah, a nicely maintained wide open field is, Jesus Christ, let's not do that. Is quite nice. So yeah, but wherever I can see around me and it's fine. Not this either. Okay, what's the next one? What's your least favourite emotion? What's your least favorite emotion? Good question. I don't know. Probably feeling abandoned, if that's an emotion. Is that an emotion? Because you're not like sad, you're just like empty. You know what I mean? I'd probably go with that. Do you live by a particular mantra? Do I live by a particular mantra? So weirdly, actually, it was a joke at the time, but Markiplier, this was going back years. It was in his Besieged playthrough. He was making quite a lot of jokes, and in one of them, he just sort of flippantly said, "Life is hard, and you should be too." And that one kind of stuck with me a bit. It was very silly, but that one really stuck with me. I don't know why. It's just like, life's hard and you should be too. Like, I know it was a dick joke, but yeah, that one really stuck with me. That was interesting, actually. That was quite a fun one. Do you believe in ghosts? I'm going with undecided on that one. Mainly because if they're there, I'm turning that off. Yeah, mainly because if they're there, I don't want to anger them. If they're not, I don't really care. You know, it's not something that I particularly put a lot of thought into. So I would say I'd just go with that. Yeah, like I'd just go with that. So if they're there, you know, great. If they're not, you know, great. Cool. Do you consider yourself introspective? Yes. Not overly sure what introspective means in this context, but if it means I look in a lot more than, or I at least look in and evaluate myself quite a lot, I would say yes. I do that quite a lot. Yeah, I do that a lot. Because like I'm always trying to check any like assumptions that I have. I always try and check that I understand what is going on and what is happening around. Yeah, so I would say yes. I would say yes. I do a lot of introspection a lot. Jesus, look at that face. Terrible. What do you love most about life? Options. I love to have options. That's always my favorite thing. And it's always like, I look at it, so I try and use the light cone perspective, if you've ever sort of looked at that theory. But it's basically, your point in time is, if you're looking at it from a graph, you've got all of the possibilities that you could have had before that lead you up to this point, and then you've got all the possibilities spreading out in front of you that you can do from this point. But as soon as you move forwards, then the whole light cone shifts up and it keeps going like that. So I would just say options, because you can really, like, if you really think about it, you can do practically anything every day if you want to. It's hard, like, obviously, and it's not always a good idea, but the options are there for you. So whenever like life feels particularly hard or anything like that, I always try and sit and think, and I'm like, what options directly are open to me right now, and what actions do I actually need to take right now? That's actually quite a big one. It's like, what do I love most? It's finding out what I actually need to do right now, and then what are the options available to me. I'd say that. A weird one, I know. I also love music. I love interacting with people, making the worst jokes, always fun. But I would go with that, options. Do you have a favourite memory? Again, I think we've already gone over that. Is it easy for you to accept help from other people? Yes. Yes, it is. Once you put your hubris aside and, like... Okay, so... Is it easy for you to accept help from people? This actually brings up a really good point. I was talking about hubris, but actually, if you are very, very strong-willed, that can be a little hard. And also, if you're actually a people pleaser, this can suddenly become very difficult for you, because it can hit that nerve of, I should know how to do this already. Realistically, unless they're a bit of a douche or it's been a really, really long time, no one cares. So I would say it's very easy for me to ask for help. I generally always do it if I have like even the smallest question. It's better to ask and be right in your assumption and be like, oh, that's what I was doing, and then like, yeah, I understand, I know what I was doing, than to assume, do it and be wrong, you know? So I would go with that. Would you survive a zombie? Why are we getting the same ones? Would you call yourself brave? How do you hope people describe you? How do I hope people describe me? Interesting, I would probably go with as a word. I'd probably say interesting. I hope people describe me as interesting. You know, I really try and not be dull or boring. Good looking, obviously. I mean, like, you know, look at, where are we? Look at this, look at all of this, and then look at all of this. Pretty much a model. Fun to be around, I would probably say. Yeah, I'd probably say. Right, this could actually be a contextual question, couldn't it? How do you hope people describe you? In what context? Like, if they're talking about like different aspects of you, like how would people describe your intelligence? How would people describe your looks? How would people describe your ability to do a job? I'd hope good to all of those, or like something around that, but it's hard to say. I'm about to die. I'm watching myself on the thing behind me, and I remember this and I just get absolutely clapped because all hell breaks loose. There's that one with like 1 star and he just claps me. Yeah, there we go. Oh, this is actually quite fun. I'm glad I made this little app, actually. This is quite an amuse. I could have made it so as it takes out the questions that we've done, but like I didn't have a lot of time, so I just made something super quick. But on the plus side, it scales. Look, woo! We do it there. Actually, yeah, that looks good. Right. Are you a good gift giver? Yes. I think yes. Family members of mine and friends think no. Because I love the gifts I give people. I find them absolutely hilarious. One year, actually it was only like 2-3 years ago, I decided that I was going to get Renaissance paintings, not tell any of my family or extended family that I was going to do this, get really, really well-known Renaissance paintings, and then I was going to basically crop their heads onto the people in the Renaissance paintings, and they came out so good. They came out so good. And not only that, I then, because like I've got images then of just my family and like my extended family, just, you know, with their heads on stuff, like with their heads in Renaissance painting. I then had it printed. On canvas. Yeah, and then I got a gold like filigree, that's probably the wrong word for it, but a gold like wooden A3 frame. Yeah, and I mounted them. Yeah, so I did like maybe 7 or 8 of those. And yeah, and now I make sure every time I go to every one of their houses that they've got them up somewhere. And it's hilarious. My sister's got her one in the bathroom, and I love that. So I really like that. I got my dad a golden shovel at one point because he's a builder and like a handyman, and he just does really well. So one year I got him for Secret Santa, so I made him a golden shovel. That was really fun. I got my sister my sister had a really small apartment one year. Like really no room for practically anything, just the bare minimum. So what's the best thing to do then? You know, you buy them a sort of 1 meter by 1 meter pillow with your face on it. Just threw it out immediately. I was very upset. Do you think dad jokes are played out? No, I make them very regularly. I make them extremely regularly, and a lot of the people that I work with quite a lot really don't enjoy them, but I do, and that's what matters. What's your favourite childhood memory? Oh, yeah, again, I think this is more of a like family thing. So like my uncle used to live next door. Great man, incredible man. Yeah, he's moved now, but he has a garage. So my uncle smokes a pipe, and I have a pipe. It's here. Don't know how to use it, but I got it. So I'm gonna learn how to smoke a pipe one day. But yeah, he had a garage, and we used to go over there, and he'd make me like a shandy as a kid, and it was awesome. And we'd sit there, and there'd be a propane heater just blasting heat into this garage, and he'd have like a fridge with beers in it, and he'd have like all of the stuff that he's accumulated just like in big like in just big shelving units all down the side of the garage and then all down the back, and he'd sit in this massive armchair that looked really comfy, and then we would sit on like just like wooden dining chairs, and we'd all sit and watch really old TV. Like really old TV, like a lot of it was Only Fools and Horses, and it was insanely fun. And we'd sit out there for hours and hours. And then when I got older, I'd switch to like beer, and we'd sit and get drunk there, and it was just great. We'd stay there till like 12 o'clock, and then we'd make the slow walk back round to home a little bit worse for wear, and then we'd go to bed. And it was quite fun. Next. What would be the funniest superpower? What would be the funniest? What would be the funniest? I suppose just like being able to move, like telekinesis, just being able to move stuff without touching it. You could have an absolute whale of a time with that. I would just stand over the other side of the road, and I'd just trip people over, and I'd just watch from that distance, just for funsies. Not enough for them to fully fall over, just a little trip. That'd be it. You know, that would be it. I'd just undo people's shoelaces from far away. You know, just on one foot, just so they don't like fully fall over. It's just annoying. So yeah, maybe that. I know it's not like a very exciting answer. I'm not like saying, oh, coming from your elbows or something like that, because that would be quite funny, but it would be like a bit body horror-y. It'd be a bit weird, so I'm not okay with that. So maybe just something like that. Yeah, because you can like control people's voices and stuff. Like that's all fun. You can make them say stuff, but like that'd get pretty dark quick, wouldn't it? I think telekinesis, just really small, amusing little telekinesis bits would be fun. We'll do, oh god, one last one. What is your least favourite part about being you? Least favourite part about being me? At the moment, it's the 2 hours I drive, well, like 3 hours really, that I drive to work every day. Like I drive to work and back every day. It takes about 3 hours. It's like an hour and a half in and then like an hour back, but only like halfway in. It takes another like half an hour to get home. So I'd maybe say that. Also, maybe like the slight podge I have at the moment. I would really like to get rid of that. So I would say that. But yeah, this has been quite fun. I've been enjoying myself. I don't know if you have. I doubt you're even all here. Well, I doubt anyone is here at this point. Because it's the end of the video. But if you are, say hey in the chat. It could be fun. And who knows, maybe we'll do like a giveaway or something at some point. But yeah, thanks for being here for 2 years. See you on year 3.